First off, congrats, 150th AHL assist. Um, you provide so much offense from the back end, especially with the two guys out tonight. Did you feel like you needed to step up a little bit more in that role?
It's a great question. A little bit, yeah, a little bit. One thing that I've kind of taken pride in throughout this former streak was my ability to just fit in and help this team win. I wasn't necessarily producing overly crazy numbers. In fact, I went to a couple games with 0 points, but I was more happy with the results. Right, you just try and find a way to move pucks and help the forwards do their job, and they're playing at such a great pace. And after the first period, I thought to myself, all right, maybe as you guys know, the big club took away a couple of our good players right before the game today. So, it's credit to the guys who stepped in today, but it's also like as an older guy, you have to find a way to contribute in different ways than, the past 13 games prior to tonight. So you don't overly think about it, maybe subconsciously. You just kind of give yourself a kick in the rear end and say, okay, you have to do a little bit more tonight. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I noticed after you scored, you were jumping up more on the play and, creating more offensively. Was it just confidence there, or what necessarily was it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, confidence is it's not something you can fake, and it doesn't matter how old you are. It's a thing that's built over time and with opportunity and with encouragement, and it's just as fast as you can get it, you can lose it. So it's something that you don't take for granted, and I always like to give credit to the guys around me. If I'm confident, it's because guys are putting me in good positions, and I'm lucky enough to either make the next play or put it home or whatever the situation might be.
You were down 2 goals in the first period, and then you tied it up, and then down again. What does it say about the depth of your group to be able to fight back and keep the game tight and force it to a shootout?
Yeah, the depth is something we take so much pride in. Like I said, one of the hard parts of the American League is you take the back seat to the big club, regardless of what they look like up top. Something that the fan base might not know is rhythm of the game is so important. You sit for a couple weeks, and coming back in and not having that rhythm is something that's so overlooked. Credit to those guys. It's not an easy job to come in, and I don't blame anybody for the start of our game. It's just something that happens, and I'm most prideful in the way we responded and character that we have in that room. I don't know who scored it, but they had a shift like 2 or 3 shifts before it that led to a lot of momentum that we had created, and a lot of the fan base might not notice, but that's the type of shift that starts the goal that happens 5 minutes of gameplay later, right? So, it's always fun to just play with guys who take pride in their role, no matter how big or small.
Yeah, and you've got a couple other guys who are just practicing right now, Jackson Coons and Vilmar Ulrichsen. What have you noticed from them in the limited time that you have with them in practice, besides,
I'm gonna
6'6"?
He's a big fella. Both of them are big fellas. I'm gonna take Coonsy's side on pretty much everything he does as a former North Dakota guy. I gotta stick with the alums. So he's a great guy, and I try and find a way to take him under my wing when he got here. And then Big Ricky, he's tough to miss when he walked in the room, and he's a great guy, just like all the Swedes we have. They're always soft-spoken, nice, down-to-earth guys, and they fit right in. It's obviously a unique situation with our depth to try and find a time to get them in or out, and thankfully I'm not paid to decide who's in the lineup. So
Big Ricky, that's his nickname?
I saw it on his sticks, and he's obviously Vilmore, and got a crazy last name, so I'll just go with Ricky as a true North American would.
Last one for me, the diving play to stop the pass in overtime. Walk us through that.
Just desperation. Yeah, you just, I think it was Cairns who had it. He's a high-end goal scorer, so you try and take away his space, but you also know there's somebody on the back door, and I try and play the percentages in that instance and give Artie the best chance to make a save, or make Karen's job as hard as he can to try and make a play there, and I got lucky enough to get a heel or something like that on it. So just desperation.
Yeah. So tonight was pretty exciting, even though continuing the point streak now to 14, which is great. But playing tomorrow and then your road trip, kind of playing against potential playoff opponents, like what's the guys' mindset going into the last couple regular season games?
I think one thing we've tried to remind the younger guys, and even ourselves, sometimes I say things out loud to remind myself. There's no easy games in this league, and we've seen that all year. It doesn't matter if you're playing somebody that's in the bottom lower division or a top team. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a hard battle, and we know that whether we finish first, second, third, fourth, we're going to see somebody that's hungry and wanting to win. So we're going to try and get a win for the fans on home ice tomorrow, our last regular season game, and then go into that road trip knowing that the way we play in those games is going to kind of lead us into playoffs. So we're kind of in that playoff mode right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wolanin.
Thank you guys.